Hey everybody, welcome back to round 5 and the tips. I guess I have to address it. Last week, absolute disaster. Disaster. And to be honest, part of the reason why I've never done a tipping series on the channel is because I know how bad I get. And I know I try and be creative and get like cute. Oh, Port Adelaide. Absolute disaster of a tip last week. Just can't get it right. But look, we need to get on track. I need to get on track. I'm on 22 tips for the year, which is not totally now out of reach, but last week was just really bad, and I guess it's a real expose on how poor of a tipper I am. But I am only 6 off the leader, who is Corey Leonard. Corey Leonard retains his spot at the top, which is the first time that's happened this season. So well done to you, Corey. I'm sitting at 120th out of 223. So I've got some work to do. But look, we're going to get into it. It's round 5. It's a big one. So I'm going to put my tips in and my thoughts. Don't follow me. If anything, use my tips to decide who not to tip. But anyway, Thursday night, 7:35 p.m, Brisbane, Collingwood at the Gabba. Surely Brisbane win this game. Like, surely. There's no discussion, not needed. Now, Collingwood, no disrespect, but I just don't think this is a game that they can beat the Lions, especially at the Gabba. So for that reason, I will go Brisbane. Friday night, we've got a doubleheader again, although this will be one game after another, which is quite interesting. I think I like this model. Now, the first one, it's at 4:20 p.m. at Marvel Stadium. It's North Melbourne and the Western Bulldogs. The Doggies, I just thought they'd definitely be beating Richmond last week. They were really disappointing. I'm going to tip them again. I don't think this is a game that North Melbourne will win. I think the Dogs, it's just getting to a point now where, they've won 1 of 4 games. I also did make mention at the start of the year about feeling like there's a bit of a fracture with the Western Bulldogs. Now, I just don't have the guts to tip North. That's the truth. I do not have the guts to tip them. So I'm going to tip the Dogs in this one. I think even if they're at their worst, they probably still have the ability to hang on and get a win. And they really got to get going. So I'm tipping the Western Bulldogs. The next game is at 7:40 p.m. at Optus Stadium. I'm going to do it again. This is me being cheeky, but I'm just going to stick to being me. That is who I am. I'm tipping the Eagles. I'm absolutely tipping the Eagles. I watched the Swans last week against North. They just looked a little bit tired, a little bit lethargic. They get less of a break as well throughout the week, one day less. I just think if West Coast have all their players back, they're just riding this emotion. I'm going to tip them. It's quirky, but I think this is the game to do it. It's at Optus as well. We know that they play well there, so I'm going to tip the Eagles, but this one could absolutely come back and bite me. We'll see. Saturday, the 16th of April, the first game is at Marvel Stadium again. It's St Kilda and the Gold Coast Suns. If there was ever a positive to my tips last week, it's that I tipped the Saints. I knew it. I knew that was a situation where I usually don't tip them, and this time I knew to get behind them. I feel like I've got the wave of the St Kilda Football Club for the first time ever, really. I never seem to get a read on them. Nonetheless, I'm going to tip St Kilda to beat the Gold Coast Suns. I know the Suns are coming off a nice win against the Blues, whatever, but the Saints just in too good a form. I think the confidence is high. I'd be really surprised if the Suns won this game. So I'm going to go the Saints. 4:30 p.m. at Adelaide Oval. It's Adelaide and Richmond. I don't have the gut. Is Adelaide really going to get this job done? Is that what's happening? Because I seem to be picking Richmond in the wrong week. I think Adelaide can absolutely win this game. This is tough. I've tipped Richmond as it stands right now. If I need to change it for whatever reason, I will. But I'm very weary that this is going to be wrong if I tip Richmond. I have a feeling that the Crows can get this one. But the tip is in. It's going to be Richmond for now. If I change it, you'll obviously know. You're all in the league if you're watching. So, yeah, I think the Tigers. But I'm not confident. 7:25 p.m. It's the Melbourne Footy Club up against the Giants. This is just another one of those situations where I get sucked into the Giants, but until Melbourne give me a reason not to tip them, I'm going to tip them, especially at the MCG. So I'm tipping the D's. They'll get the job done against the Giants, but I do think this game will be close. Sunday, 1:40 p.m. at the MCG. It's Carlton and Port Adelaide. I said last week, Port Adelaide surely couldn't be 0-4. They can't be 0-5. They're too good. They're way too good. My head says Port Adelaide will win this game, to be honest with you. My heart obviously says Carlton will win because I'm biased and this is the Blue Abroad YouTube channel. I'm going to tip Carlton, but I'm not confident about this week. And that's the honest truth. So make of that what you will. 4:40 p.m. The Bombers play Freo at Marvel. Oh, this is tough because they've had a close win last week. Just think Freo have too much firepower. They're a lot better of a side than what the Crows were. I'm going to tip Fremantle, but I know Essendon can win this game as well. So it's just, this week could be a total disaster again, or I could be a genius for some of these tricky tips. So I'll tip the Dockers in this one. I like what they're doing. They've started the season really well. They're flying right under the radar, which is nice to see because they're a good side and I do like them. Then on Monday, it's the classic Hawthorne Geelong Easter Monday clash on the 18th of April, 3:20 p.m. I'm going to tip the Cats. Surely, I don't see Hawthorn winning this game. I think the Cats just have too much firepower. I think they're going to start clicking into gear. I think one of the forwards will get off the leash, and I'm going to tip the Geelong Footy Club. So that's how I see it. Let me know how you're going. Were your tips as much of a disaster as what mine were last week? If they were, let me know what you did get. And let me know what your tips are for this week. I'm very keen to see, because there's quite a few of those 50-50 games this week. I think the Essendon-Freo game is pretty tight. I think the Adelaide-Richmond game is pretty tight. I do think the West Coast-Sydney game is going to be tight, just for the Perth factor. So there's a couple of them there. We'll see how we go. I'll chat to you in the comments, and we'll go from there.